Hi, everybody. It's your lovely sleep paralysis demon Gray here. Um, I look back at my content and I realized there's a video that I have made like a couple years ago, and I think I want to talk about it again. At least this is a sequel to that, and instead of just like characters in general, I want to talk about Roblox avatars. The current state of Roblox avatars is, in my opinion, pretty terrible. Like, it's either the tall, skinny TikTok e-boy who does those dances, or the short, literal BBL avatars with mesh faces or like baby faces, or the same nonchalant redhead with the fake headless and core blocks. I'm gonna tell you this right here. I do not hate people who have the fake items because they don't have the money for it. I understand that. But where my problem lies is the lack of creativity and the lack of individual style that everybody has. Like, for example, I would go into this game called WoW, or WOW. It used to be called TOD, and every time I go there, it is the exact same avatars, the same people. It is it is disturbing to me personally. Like, these people cannot create their own type of avatar, and they have to rely on using other people's avatars to, look like everybody else. And as you can see from my little avatar, I do not look like everybody else. I am distinctly original, and I stand out like a sore thumb. I stand out like a rose in a field of dandelions, bro. And that's okay. I like my style of avatars. I like dressing like this. What I don't like is people coming up to me and bullying for it because, oh, you have ears and a tail. Oh, you look weird. I look weird to you because what you see is your normal. You're not used to seeing stuff that's different. But that's not the video topic for today. My topic is about helping you create your own avatars. I have been designing avatars for myself, and I recently released a video on TikTok. You should go totally check it out, of faceless avatars. I'm going to sort of give you how I make my avatars, generally what makes a good avatar, plus misconceptions of like decent avatar design. Also, disclaimer, I'm by no means a professional designer. I'm no means a professional character designer, none of that. And you don't have to take my word for it. I'm just a sleep paralysis demon on the internet. Well, without further ado, let's get started. So, first off, I like to make it a point that my sense of style is not going to fit everybody's, but how I do it is I'd like to start with getting an idea of what type of character I'm going to make. Like, do I want them to be friendly? Do I want them to be very stoic? Do I want them to be like an adventurer or whatever? That's usually how I do it. But then sometimes I'll just like find an item or like a face and I just completely go off of that. For example, I found this interesting chainsaw halo headphones in the tail, and I just made this completely random avatar off of it. Also, there was a cheese shades, and I found those and I made just like this like really badass type of cheese person. I named the most basic name for a cheese type character. I named him Chester. Those who know me, they also saw how I've created characters based off of snacks like ice cream and drinks such as cream soda. All will be shared on screen. And I start like with the face, the skin tone, then the hair, then the clothing, then the accessories. That's my step by step process. Because you can't really accessorize if you don't know what you're going to wear underneath it. Like, again, for my character Gray, I honestly just found the horns and tail, so they just completely break this cycle that I have. Sometimes you might find an accessory, like I said, and just build around it. And that's okay too. Um, I'll show some more examples of my avatar style on screen because I don't really know how to explain the full process. Because it's really just I find an accessory, or I find clothing, or I find something on Roblox, and I just completely build around it. I just let my mind go. And I understand that not everybody has that sense of creativity, and I'm not trying to force you to. Now that you have sort of an idea of how my process is, let me help you find your process. So, you're going into the game. You're trying to figure out what speaks to you most. So the first question is, are you trying to make an avatar based off of yourself? Or you're trying to make a character with your avatar? Or maybe you're just trying to make a cosplay. If you're trying to make a cosplay, I cannot help you here. You probably should just find stuff relating to the character and build off of that. But to those who are trying to create one based off yourself, think about who you are as a person. Think about what makes you you. Are you an artist? Are you a sports person? Do you like playing games? Do you like color? Do you like the monochrome? Do you like maximum accessories? Do you like minimum accessories? You have to ask yourself these basic questions to try and understand yourself not only for you, but for your avatar. From there, you can probably find stuff that fits your style. But for a character, you also have to ask these questions. Do you want them to be this like kind person? Do you want them to come off as scary? Do you want them to come off as, very approachable? Do you want them to seem like a very shy person? You have to ask who they're going to be before you can actually make that into a physical image. And next, you're going to have to want to find, you know, something that reflects it in their face, something that reflects their personality outward. Also, you may want to consider, as you're looking for the clothing and accessories, about your budget. Because I will tell you, clothing averages from 5 to even 10 Robux. Your face, head, and waist accessories are going to be about 50 to 90. The most expensive items you're probably going to have to find is your hair, your faces, like the actual head itself, and back accessories. Because I know at least back accessories can be at most 160 Robux. You may find yourself with very few items and already approaching 1,000. You just have to be careful because you may find a really cool item and it may be 160, or it could be a limited and worth hundreds more. Like, for example, I made this character named Waffle, and on their back they have a fork with a waffle on it. Little did I know that that entire back accessory was I think about or over 400 Robux. I didn't know that until my final purchase when I looked at it. And I was like, "Oh shit. I'm pretty low on Robux. I can't buy another character." You gotta be careful about what items you pick. Also, not only the items you may pick may be too much, they may not be able to pre-purchase at all. You might find yourself having to see a really cool clothing or accessory. You go to put it on, then you try to buy it. It is either off sale or you can't even purchase it in the game. At least if it's not purchasable in the game, you can go find it in the marketplace if you copy and paste its description or like the name of it and you find it. And if you don't, you'll still have to just figure out an alternative. Once you have all of that figured out, there you go. Now you've got to just move and mix and match around, Because some things may fit, some things may not fit. This is just trying to build your character, but also think about its cohesiveness, how it blends together appearance wise. Sure, you want to bring all your aspects together of yourself or the character, but you can't just leave it as a mess. That's where the whole color theory and all that stuff comes in. Like, again, I'm gonna use my avatar gray for example. They are completely monochrome except for their skin, which makes sense. But my items make sense to the character overall. They like listening to music. They put this paper mask and the tie because they want to appear less scary. I gave them a little Snoopy accessory because they love dogs. They have bat wings, or demon wings because they're a demon. Also, the weapons are, of course, their weapons. It looks like a little bit of a mess, but it is an intentional, chaotic mess. Also, the horns and the tail, I just thought they looked cool, and they just blend well together. You can capture yourself or capture the character within a color palette. Like you can use, cooler colors to make them seem more calm and present, or like brighter colors like orange and yellow to really show how excitable or energetic they are. I am not an expert in color theory at all. I just pick whatever sees fit, and generally, how I feel colors vibe with each other. I guess it's unintentional color theory. So, hey, if you can figure out how to make things work well together in a palette and a digestible avatar, then you're good to go. I will say this though, there is a maximalist style, but not all maximalist truly goes well together. There's clashing and then there's just clashing, where it just looks awful. Also, I think I'm gonna go over, yeah, I'm gonna go over a few misconceptions in involving these Roblox avatars, plus my few gripes with the current avatars that I not only did I express before, but also I want to talk about like in the current state of how it's being distributed. So, a couple misconceptions that I believe happens is being like everyone else is usually good, or like if you dress this way, you'll get attention. Because I know like a lot of people play catalog avatar creator, and no hates to developers at all, but the community who use this place, it's a cesspool of weirdos, if I'm being completely honest. Also, I'm saying weirdos as in people who create disgusting avatars with literal dicks on it, or the racist ones, or all of that. Because you cannot really go into a public server without seeing at least one or two couples standing together. The girl's just dancing on the guy, and I'm like, you could have gone to a private server for this, or don't do it at all. I It's really difficult also because you try to make your own avatar, and yes, there is a like system where you click on someone's avatar and you can like it. But then they walk up to you and express their disgust with your avatar. Like they could have just easily kept it to themselves. And I will say this, being like everyone else doesn't make you any better. It just makes you follow the crowd. Having less doesn't always mean good, and having more doesn't always mean good. You just have to find a balance within your avatar. Also, getting really expensive items doesn't make you better either. I like the limited classic faces or buying core blocks or headless. It truly does not make you better. It just means you had the money for it. It's not something that people should really strive for. You should just strive to be yourself. not follow what everyone else is doing just to try and be cool. This is truly some middle school explanation about peer pressure, but people are still following it because it's online. Online truly is like a middle school cafeteria where if you don't give into peer pressure, you're going to be the one who gets all the bullying. Now, I think it's a point where I can talk about my big issue with avatars that I kind of expressed at the beginning. That avatars nowadays consist of the same preppy girl, the BBLs, the nonchalant dreadheads, and just e-boys. If you even go into the catalog, it's all just like the same type of outfit. And also in the community outfits, there's a lot of like mesh heads and things like that. If you do not know what a mesh head is, it is when you take a real person's face and put it onto a Roblox head. You mesh real life with the fictional world of Roblox. And it's disgusting. And in recent days, they have been actually using literal children. I have seen in multiple creators' videos where they're going into catalog and they're seeing these really, really provocative avatars with thick legs and a slim body with the literal baby face. It's not okay. It's predatory. But they're also the same people who will literally come up to someone like me and start insulting me for having ears and a tail. Also, in recent days, it's been a thing where the girls not only have the thick legs, not the standard blocky legs, but like actual, like, curvy legs. They're starting to have these T Rex arms. My immediate thought is, why are people thinking this is attractive? Why are people putting what is an actual physical disability on their avatar? I am not insulting any disabled person. I am a disabled person and I have respect for all disabled people, but where I'm coming from is why? What makes it so cool to have that on? Like you can barely see them. What part of this is okay? I even have footage of me seeing this type of behavior. And a lot of these are minors. Like between the ages of 14 to 16. It is rather unfortunate. And it's part of the problem that a lot of people express within Roblox. That children are being exposed to and a part of this very adult side of the community. And it's just gross. That is another topic for another day. But it's just sad that all possible creativity is being limited to following the same avatars and the same, personality that follows with it. I truly think if people tried, there would be so many more unique avatars. I'm not saying there isn't. I've seen my fair share of beautiful, unique avatars. Whether it's webcore, scene, grunge, the actual like e-boy type of avatar. I've seen some e-boy aesthetic, e-girl aesthetic avatars that I personally liked a lot. They broke the generic version of their aesthetic and have made it into something their own. Everyone has this potential. Just like how people say, I can never be an artist. Yes, you can if you actually tried. People say they can't, just give up. But where my point is, if you understand the basics of trying to design, you can absolutely create some beautiful designs on Roblox. You can make some very lovely avatars. But as some of us know, there's a recent update, or speak of new updates, about them removing 2D clothing, classic faces, and everyone only be able to have one avatar. I think that's bullshit. I'll talk about it another time in a stream. But if you did understand my advice, I'm so grateful. And, you know, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed hearing me talk about stuff I'm into. Leave a like, subscribe, and thank you for staying. Stay comfy.